Today we're tackling one of the most important things for your baby's health, the safest sleep position. Now you may have heard about back sleeping, tummy time, and all the rest, but let's clear up the confusion and make sure your baby is sleeping safely. When it comes to sleep positions, there's one golden rule. Back is best. The safest position for babies under 1 year old is to sleep on their back. This significantly reduces the risk of sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. Now whether it's nighttime or nap time, always place your baby on their back to sleep. Now I had a dad tell me that his baby prefers to sleep on his stomach. So to soothe the baby, he'll place him on his own chest until the baby falls asleep. And while that seems comforting, it's risky because dad can fall asleep too. It's actually better to keep the babies on their back for sleep at all times until they start rolling over on their own, roughly around 4 to 6 months. Let's clear up another common misconception. Tummy time is great, but it's for when your baby is awake and supervised. Tummy time helps them develop the muscles they need to push up, roll over, and eventually crawl, but it's definitely not for sleep. Now let's shed some insight on SIDS, because here's why this all matters. Back sleeping helps keep your baby's airways open and reduces the chances of something blocking their breathing, which is key in preventing SIDS. So even if your baby seems to prefer their stomach, stick with back sleeping until they're able to roll over on their own. Next up, I'll show you how to safely rotate your baby during sleep to help avoid those flat spots on their head. Alright, now that we know back sleeping is safest, let's talk about rotating your baby to keep that adorable head nice and round. It's all about avoiding flat spots on the back of their head, which can happen when babies spend too much time in the same position. So how do you rotate your baby safely? It's easier than you might think. Each time you put your baby down for a nap or bedtime, try alternating the direction you lay them in the crib. For example, one nap you can help place their head near one end of the crib, and for the next nap, place it on the other. It encourages them to turn their head to different sides, helping balance the pressure on their skull. Now what if your baby is swaddled? Swaddling can help babies sleep better by keeping them snug, but it also limits their movement, especially in the arms. When swaddled, babies may not be able to rotate their head as easily. That's why it's even more important to make sure you're laying them down on their back to sleep and alternating head positions during naps or bedtime. Once your baby shows signs of rolling over, typically around 4 to 6 months, you should stop swaddling. It's no longer safe because they need their arms free to move in case they roll over. Also, let's bust a few myths. Some parents think it's okay for babies to sleep on their stomach if they prefer it. That's a big no. Stick with back sleeping, and once your baby starts rolling over on their own, it's safe to let them sleep how they're comfortable, but you don't need to keep repositioning them. Now that we've covered rotation and swaddling, let's move on to another big question. How often should your baby sleep, and what's normal at each stage? Did you know babies grow while they sleep? That's why sleep is so critical in these early months. So how often should your baby be sleeping, and how can you help them and yourself sleep better? Babies need a lot of sleep because that's when their bodies release growth hormones and their brains develop. Newborns sleep around 14 to 17 hours a day in small chunks because they gotta feed frequently. By 3 to 6 months old, they still need about 12 to 15 hours of sleep every day, with longer stretches at night and a few naps during the day. Now for babies 6 to 12 months, they'll likely sleep about 12 to 14 hours and get about 2 to 3 naps. This is also a great age to establish a consistent bedtime routine to help them know it's time to sleep. Pro tip, adding a little rice cereal to their formula can help thicken it, which not only helps acid reflux, but can also help your baby sleep longer. And let's face it, parents, who couldn't use a bit more sleep themselves? Sleep isn't just rest, it's when their bodies and brains grow and develop. Ensuring your baby gets enough sleep is setting them up for healthy development. Now, one common misconception is that keeping a baby up late will help them sleep longer. In reality, overtired babies are really fussy and hard to put down. Look for early signs of yawning or rubbing their eyes to get them to bed before they're overtired. Also, babies who sleep well are happier and more alert when they're awake, so getting them on a regular schedule benefits both of you. Now that you know how often your baby should sleep, let's tackle another question I hear all the time. Is it safe to sleep with your baby? Let's break it down in this next portion. Here are 4 essential sleep safety tips for parents. Number 1, can I sleep with my baby in my bed? This is a common question, but bed sharing with a baby under 1 year old can increase the risk of SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, by up to 5 times. The safer option, room sharing. Keep a crib or bassinet in your room so you're close by for feeds without the added risk. Number 2, some parents think babies sleep better on their stomachs, but here's the deal. Putting them on their back is always safer. Stomach sleeping significantly increases the risk of suffocation. Number 3, is it safe to let your baby nap on your chest in bed? Looks cozy, but it can be dangerous. It's much safer for babies to sleep on a firm, flat surface like a crib with no pillows or blankets. And number 4, swaddling. It's great, but once they start rolling around 4 to 6 months, it's time to stop. Babies need those arms free to move to stay safe. Next up, when is it actually safe to let your child sleep in your bed?
Hey parents, wondering when it's safe for your child to sleep in your bed? You're not alone. The American Academy of Pediatrics advises against bed sharing for children under 1 due to risks like sudden infant death syndrome and suffocation. After age 1, it gets safer. Finally, a full night's rest. Just follow these safety tips. Use a firm mattress with minimal bedding and no loose pillows. Keep kiddos away from the edges and avoid alcohol or meds that make you sleep deeply. Here's how to transition smoothly. Establish a bedtime routine with a favorite stuffed animal. Try a toddler clock to signal sleep to wake times. And if your little one sneaks into your room at night, guide them back to bed calmly. Remember, prioritize safety even after age 1 to avoid tangling in bedding. Stay safe and sleep soundly. Merchant out.